The version of you they hurt no longer exists. The person who begged for understanding beneath cold eyes and sharpened words died slowly in rooms filled with fake love and hidden contempt. That old soul collapsed under the weight of betrayal like a cathedral burning from the inside while the crowd outside pretended not to smell the smoke. They thought they were breaking your spirit when they ignored your loyalty, mocked your kindness, and treated your heart like disposable glass beneath dirty boots. They believed your silence meant weakness. They mistook your patience for surrender. They never realized they were standing beside a sleeping storm. You remember every wound, every delayed message that carried disrespect like poison beneath silk, every moment you questioned your worth because someone else could not recognize it. Every night your mind became a prison cell where memories replayed like knives scraping across bone. They fed on your confusion. They watched you overthink every detail while they moved without guilt. Manipulators always smile while they poison the water. Cowards always hide their cruelty behind excuses. They wanted you emotionally exhausted because exhausted people stop defending themselves. You carried shame that never belonged to you. You apologized for reactions caused by repeated disrespect. You shrank yourself to keep temporary peace alive. You tolerated emotional starvation because your heart still believed love could survive inside ruins. That was the deepest cut, not the betrayal itself, but the realization that you abandoned yourself while trying to keep others from leaving. You became a prisoner of your own empathy. You studied their moods like a soldier studying enemy movements, hoping one perfect action could finally earn honesty. Instead, every sacrifice became another invitation for mistreatment. You are not broken. The pain carved through your chest because your soul was waking up. Every betrayal exposed a truth your heart refused to accept. Some people enter your life carrying empty eyes and hungry intentions. They do not love light, they consume it. They search for kind souls because kindness gives them power, attention, comfort, and control. The moment you stopped feeding their emptiness, they turned cold. Their affection was conditional. Their loyalty was rented. Their presence depended on how much of yourself you were willing to destroy for them. You are not weak. Weak people avoid truth because truth demands transformation. You faced the darkness directly. You sat alone with memories sharp enough to split open the mind. You survived nights that felt endless. You endured silence louder than thunder. You walked through emotional winters where every breath felt heavy with grief. Yet your spirit remained alive beneath the wreckage, bruised, exhausted, angry, confused, but alive. That matters more than anything. They did not destroy you, they awakened you. Pain has a strange language. At first it sounds like punishment, then it becomes instruction, finally it becomes power. This pain is not punishment. It is preparation. The fire they pushed you into was never designed to kill you. It was designed to burn away illusion. Gold cannot become pure without pressure. Steel cannot become unbreakable without heat. Diamonds are born beneath crushing darkness. The universe was stripping weakness from your spirit with brutal precision. Now you see things differently. You notice manipulation before it reaches your heart. You hear deception hiding beneath beautiful words. You understand that constant explaining drains the soul. Real love does not require endless defense. Respect does not need begging. Loyalty does not disappear during difficult seasons. The old version of you chased closure from people committed to misunderstanding you. That version is gone. Your silence is becoming sacred. Your distance is becoming medicine. Every moment alone is rebuilding your nervous system like a fortress rising from ashes. You are learning to protect your peace with ruthless discipline. No more explaining your value to blind people. No more chasing temporary affection. No more setting yourself on fire to keep emotionally unavailable souls warm. There is something terrifying about a person who survives emotional warfare and refuses to become bitter. That is what they fear now. Not your anger, not your sadness, your evolution. They expected permanent damage. Instead, they created awareness. They expected collapse. Instead, they triggered rebirth. Every tear became fuel. Every betrayal became revelation. Every lonely night became another hammer strike, forging a harder mind and a sharper spirit. The future belongs to the version of you rising now, calm, focused, untouchable. You walk differently when illusions die. You speak differently when your spirit stops begging for acceptance. Your energy changes when you finally understand that rejection protected you from places where your soul would have slowly disappeared. Some doors close because darkness lives behind them. Some people leave because destiny refuses to let them follow you higher. One day they will remember the soul they underestimated. They will remember the person who loved deeply without deception. They will remember your absence like a cold wind moving through empty halls. By then you will already be gone, not lost, reborn. The storm inside you is no longer chaos, it is direction. You are becoming the kind of person who does not seek revenge because existence itself becomes the revenge. Your discipline will speak, your silence will speak, your transformation will speak louder than any argument. Keep walking through the fire. Keep rebuilding in silence while the world doubts your resurrection. The weak version of you died in betrayal. What remains now is something colder than fear, sharper than pain, and stronger than every hand that once tried to bury your spirit forever completely. You survived the grave they prepared for your spirit, and now your rebirth will shake every shadow that once celebrated your suffering. They watched you bleed and called it sensitivity. They watched your spirit fracture beneath pressure and called it weakness. That is the cruelty of emotionally hollow people. They rewrite the story while the victim still struggles to breathe. They build comfort from denial. They survive by convincing themselves they never caused the damage standing directly in front of them. Meanwhile, you carried the weight of every shattered promise like chains wrapped around your ribs. You questioned your instincts because betrayal from trusted hands confuses the soul more deeply than betrayal from enemies ever could. There were mornings when your body woke up exhausted before the day even began. Your mind became a battlefield crowded with unfinished conversations, imaginary apologies, and memories sharp enough to reopen every wound. You replayed moments repeatedly, searching for hidden answers buried inside cold behavior and disappearing affection. That is what emotional manipulation does. It transforms thoughtful people into prisoners of analysis. It forces the heart to search endlessly for logic inside chaos. But chaos was always the point. They needed your confusion because clarity would have freed you sooner. Manipulators survive through emotional fog. They survive through guilt, mixed signals, false hope, and selective affection. One day warmth, the next day distance. One moment praise, the next moment humiliation. They trained your nervous system to survive instability, then blamed you for becoming anxious inside the storm they created. That was never love. Love does not poison peace. Love does not weaponize silence. Love does not disappear whenever accountability enters the room. You are not broken. You adapted to psychological warfare while still trying to remain soft. That alone proves the strength living inside you. Most people would have allowed hatred to consume them completely. Most people would have chosen destruction. Yet even after betrayal ripped through your chest, part of your soul still searched for meaning instead of revenge. That is rare. That is powerful. That is the reason this suffering transformed you instead of ending you. You are beginning to understand a brutal truth. Some chapters must collapse violently so your spirit can finally escape them. The life you lost was already draining your future. The people who abandoned you were already delaying your evolution. The disrespect you tolerated was already shrinking your identity. Pain revealed what comfort tried to hide. Pain exposed every false connection. Pain tore away masks with merciless precision. This pain is not punishment, it is preparation. Every storm reshaped your vision. Every lonely night forced you to meet yourself without distraction. You discovered how much energy you wasted chasing validation from emotionally unavailable people. You discovered how often you abandoned your own instincts to keep temporary peace alive. You discovered that silence reveals more truth than arguments ever will. When you stopped explaining yourself, the masks around you began falling naturally. Now the transformation deepens. You no longer crave closure from people addicted to misunderstanding you. You no longer need apologies from those incapable of self-reflection. Their inability to love you correctly is not proof that you lacked value. It is proof that they lacked emotional depth. Empty people cannot recognize rare souls until absence teaches them what presence never could. That realization changes everything. Your energy grows colder now, but wiser, not cruel, not bitter, disciplined, focused, dangerous in the quietest way possible. You are learning that power does not scream, power withdraws, power observes, power stops reacting emotionally to every provocation. The strongest wolves in the forest do not waste energy announcing themselves before the hunt. The old version of you chased explanations. The new version studies patterns. The old version begged for honesty. The new version walks away at the first sign of deception. The old version feared abandonment. The new version understands that losing toxic people creates space for destiny. They did not destroy you. They awakened you. Now the fire inside your chest burns differently. Before, it was pain searching for relief. Now it is purpose searching for direction. Every betrayal became another layer of armor around your spirit. Every disappointment sharpened your instincts. Every season of isolation taught you self-respect. Solitude stopped feeling like punishment once you realized peace exists there. The noise disappeared. The manipulation disappeared. The emotional hunger disappeared. In the silence, you finally heard your own mind clearly again. That clarity is sacred. Protect it. Do not return to places that required your self-destruction for acceptance. Do not explain your boundaries to people committed to violating them. Do not chase affection from those who only value your presence after your absence. Let them feel the distance. Let them confront the emptiness they created with their own hands. Your silence is not weakness anymore. It is a wall built from wisdom. You survived emotional earthquakes that would have buried weaker minds. Never forget that. You carried grief without becoming monstrous. You carried heartbreak without losing your humanity. Even now, beneath the scars and hardened edges, your spirit still contains light. That light survived because it was never fragile. It was forged. The next chapter of your life will terrify those who benefited from your insecurity. They depended on your self-doubt. They depended on your need for approval. They depended on the old version of you remaining emotionally exhausted and spiritually uncertain. But that person no longer exists. Now there is only the survivor rising from the ashes with clearer eyes, stronger boundaries, and a soul tempered by fire. Every scar has become scripture. Every wound has become wisdom. Every loss has become fuel for the climb ahead. The storm did not erase your destiny. The storm revealed it. Your resurrection will become their unforgettable haunting lesson. The version of you they hurt no longer exists because the fire completed its work. The weak foundations collapsed. The illusions burned away. The desperate need to be understood by people committed to misunderstanding you finally died in the smoke. Now there is something else standing where the broken soul once stood, something calmer, something colder, something impossible to manipulate twice. You can feel it in the way your mind moves now. The overthinking has started turning into observation. The emotional chaos has started becoming strategy. You no longer react instantly to disrespect because experience taught you that silence reveals more than emotional explosions ever could. You learned that real power does not beg for recognition. Real power becomes undeniable through discipline, restraint, and distance. That lesson cost you pieces of your heart, but the price created wisdom. There was a time when abandonment shattered you. Now it exposes people before they can damage your future further. There was a time when rejection made you question your worth. Now it makes you question the character of those incapable of recognizing loyalty standing directly in front of them. Your entire perspective transformed because suffering forced your eyes open. You are not weak. Weak people run from pain. You walked directly through it while carrying wounds nobody could see. You survived conversations that poisoned your peace for months. You survived fake affection disguised as love. You survived betrayal from hands you once trusted enough to place near your soul. Every scar became evidence that your spirit endured impact without collapsing permanently. You are not broken. Broken things cannot rebuild themselves stronger. Broken things cannot rise from devastation carrying greater awareness than before. What happened to you was not destruction. It was reconstruction through fire. This pain is not punishment, it is preparation. Every lonely night prepared your independence. Every betrayal prepared your discernment. Every season of confusion prepared your awakening. Now the transformation becomes visible. You stop forcing connections that drain your spirit. You stop shrinking yourself to fit inside emotionally limited spaces. You stop begging for honesty from people addicted to deception. Your standards rise because your self-respect finally rises with them. You understand that protecting your peace is no longer optional, it is survival. The world changes when you stop needing approval. People sense the difference immediately. Your energy becomes difficult to access. Your silence becomes intimidating. Your calmness unsettles those who expected emotional reactions from you forever. They notice your distance, but they cannot understand it because they still believe pain makes people weaker. They never learned what storms actually create. Storms create warriors. Fire creates steel. Pressure creates diamonds. Loss creates vision. Isolation creates self-mastery. And betrayal creates awareness sharp enough to protect the soul forever. They did not destroy you. They awakened you. That sentence will echo through every chapter ahead. One day the people who underestimated your resilience will watch your rise from far away. They will hear about the discipline you built in silence. They will see the peace you protected after years of chaos. They will recognize the strength forming around your presence like armor forged beneath volcanic heat. By then, their opinions will mean nothing to you because healed people stop seeking validation from those who damaged them. Your comeback will not arrive loudly. It will arrive through consistency, through focus, through boundaries, through mornings where you choose growth instead of grief, through nights where you choose purpose instead of obsession, through every decision that honors the person you are becoming instead of the person who once tolerated disrespect to avoid loneliness. That is the final transformation. You stop fearing solitude because solitude introduced you to your real identity. Beneath the pain was a stronger mind waiting to emerge. Beneath the heartbreak was discipline waiting to awaken. Beneath the betrayal was destiny waiting for separation from everything poisoning your future. Now you walk differently. You speak less. You observe more. You protect your energy like something sacred because you finally understand its value. The old version of you searched for love in places filled with emotional hunger and hidden knives. The new version recognizes danger immediately. The new version trusts actions more than promises. The new version refuses to trade inner peace for temporary attention. This is your rebirth, not soft, not fragile, not dependent on approval. Reborn through fire, reborn through suffering, reborn through truth. The darkness that once surrounded you no longer feels terrifying because you became stronger than the shadows themselves. You survived the worst moments already. You survived nights where your spirit felt buried beneath grief and confusion. Yet here you stand, breathing with greater awareness than ever before. That is why your future will become unstoppable. Because unhealed people chase distractions, healed people build empires within themselves first. And once that inner kingdom is built, nothing external can collapse it again. Remember this forever. The version of you they betrayed was only the beginning. The version rising now will become legend. You were chosen for transformation because ordinary souls cannot survive this level of fire without disappearing inside it. Every scar across your memory carries instruction now. Every painful ending redirected your path toward something greater than comfort. Stop mourning the collapse of the old identity. That identity could never carry the destiny waiting ahead. The stronger version of you required isolation, pressure, betrayal, and silence to awaken. Keep moving without announcing your plans. Keep healing without seeking applause. Keep building your future while the world remembers your past. One day your peace will become proof that survival can evolve into power, and your existence alone will inspire broken souls to rise from their ashes. Rise in silence.